Hey guys, Jackson here, jumping in at the very start of this episode just to let you know that there are going to be a lot of bleeps in this episode, a lot of censoring in these episodes on YouTube now for Criminally Stupid. And that is because YouTube are idiots, stupid giant idiots that you don't know how to enforce their policies correctly. They use automated systems. So, you know what? That's on YouTube. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. We've got bleeps in here now. It's to avoid strikes. If you want the uncensored videos, you can go to our official.men membership platform, 7-day free trial. You get uncensored stuff over there, as well as on our Spotify and iTunes. Those platforms are all cool with us making fun of pedophiles, because of course they are. They're pedophiles. I mean, they're not pedophiles. The people we're making fun of are pedophiles. So yeah, I don't know why YouTube runs defense, but they do run defense on pedophiles for some reason. So go over there if you want the uncensored stuff. Don't complain to us because there's bleeps and censorship in these episodes on YouTube now. It is all YouTube's fault. They were going to delete our channel if we didn't start doing this, so we have to censor stuff. If you want the uncensored, official.men 7-day free trial, or our Spotify and iTunes and like that, you can find it linked below. Thanks, guys. Hello, welcome back to Criminally Stupid, Part 5. Yes, we've done 5 parts on this mother. Part 5 on Jean-Pierre Wary, the final episode. That's right, we're pretty much done now. Once you guys have listened to this episode, you'll have known every single thing about this guy's mostly made-up life. This Damien Latigue / Jean-Pierre Wary's life.
You don't know that.
I mean, I know it's all made up. We already know that.
No, you don't. No. All of those hot single women and men, they could have really been hitting on him.
Yeah, but why do you keep going back to underage black kids for the most part? With all these women going after him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you haven't already, make sure that you guys go watch the previous 4 episodes. Otherwise, you won't know what we're talking about. Probably a good idea to do that.
Well, to give a brief recap, what did happen in the last episode? So he got out of prison, started flirting with a security guard and his girlfriend. He made a girl really, really hard. He really put an emphasis on the fact that he was great in bed, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's all I remember. What else happened?
I mean, so what was it last episode? I think it was last episode where he went to jail for someone, right?
Oh, yeah. He was giving a girl a cab ride to the airport. And then in the middle of it, he decides to rape her. And then he was like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that.
Out of character. Who could have seen that coming?
Yeah. Not our Damien. a moment of, a lapse in judgment. It happens to the best of us. Hasn't it never happened to you? Anyway, that happens. He goes back to prison for a while. He gets out of prison. He's a bad boy now.
No. He's not a bad boy. During his second stay in prison, he comes out as a reformed Christian, remember? He now believes in God. And that's where he meets his girlfriend now, who he made come through the virtues of, being a godly
he got
Christian
a girlfriend.
man.
Okay, thank you. I was thinking, what's the big thing that I'm not remembering? He has an actual long-term girlfriend now, whose name I forget, but she's apparently
Miss
into
Vicky.
him. Vicky, right. Okay, so listen to that episode if you want the full picture, and he paints it quite vividly.
You really need to watch the full story, the previous 4 episodes. If you're going in blind here, this is like jumping into the end of the Lord of the Rings trilogy and not knowing who the Sauron is or anything like that. It's not going to make sense. We're already way too into the weeds on this topic. So we're reading still from In for Life, Confessions of a 3 Strikes Prisoner, which is his autobiography that he wrote with the help of his cellmate in federal prison, where he is now in for life, considering it's based on the California 3-strike rule, basically. If you're convicted for violent felonies 3 times, then the final sentence is for life. So he is now in there for life. And so we come to Act 3 of this autobiography, starting from chapter 43. A good old boy and a country girl.
Holy moly. Who's starting?
You can start.
All right. Let me put on my audiobook reading skills here. By the way, did you know there's websites where you can volunteer to read audiobook or to read public domain books for the blind? I forget what the domain is, but you can basically, if you have like a rudimentary microphone, you can just read an audiobook and people are free to just download it, and you don't even have to be a professional or have any experience. I thought that was very
upload
endearing.
our episodes onto the website so that the blind, or not the blind,
that's what I was
the
thinking.
blind could
It's
listen to this episode.
Okay, this is so endearing. There's like old ladies reading like Tolstoy and Dostoevsky for the blind and whatnot, and then we could upload our better book
in for life, and only like the choice excerpts, by the way, not anything in between. It's just the best of montage
with a bunch of commentary. It's basically just a podcast that we're uploading to their innocent website
for the blind.
Yeah,
like they got enough issues.
Right. Chapter 43: A good old boy and a country girl. It only made perfect sense to get married at her home. Besides, it is where she'd lived throughout every stage of development, from infant to child to teen to co-ed, and now the stage where she becomes a wife, to an extremely lucky man. Vicky had been born October 5th, 1970, and graduated in the class of 1988. Damien was 13 years older than her, not quite old enough to be her father, but clearly a gap existed. Both Vera and Vic... Oh, by the way, he was like pointing out how hot it was that she's younger.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, another thing, by the way, from the last episode that he kept harping on was like, I am so emotionally immature. Like, it's only normal that I want to date 20-year-olds.
Exactly. Like, he believes that he's at the same developmental stage as like 16-year-old women. Or,
yeah.
To be fair, he portrays it as like 18 to 21-year-old women. So that's why he goes for her. It's like the same logic that Chris Chan used to use. I'm pretty sure he would often use that logic as well.
Well, let's keep in mind, if I scroll up here in this document, the decoy originally that he got caught on To Catch a Predator was posing as a 13-year-old. So we
already know he's a child offender, child sex offender.
Yeah, that age of attraction goes quite low. Both Vera and Victor noticed the age difference right away, since Damien was closer to their own age than the one of their daughter. Although nothing was said about this right away, it was one of the biggest concerns about their marriage. However, not the biggest.
Oh yeah, so he remember at the end of the last chapter he proposed to her, and then they flew to meet her parents, basically.
Yeah,
who was Vera and Victor? That's her parents.
Yeah, they're meeting the parents now. They're at that stage. Bet you haven't had a meal that good in a while, hey, Damien? No, sir. No,
yes,
sir.
Very sultry. Very sultry, Kaya.
No, sir. That was very good. Actually, he personally thought the meat was bland, but thought it rude to point this out.
what
an
fucking
asshole.
Yeah, seriously. What a pretend. Remember, Damien thinks he's like a master chef as well.
Oh, yeah. He's basically like a gay, lispy Hannibal Lecter, by the way. Reminder, he was like, yeah, I put on Chopin and I listen to old classical music while I make
creme brulee.
Yeah, creme brulee. While Vera and I are happy to have you in our home, Victor looked to his wife for emotional support, then continued, we just have something we wanted to say to both of you. So let's start. Okay. Damien nervously squeezed his fiance's hand under the table, out of sight of her parents. He was pretty sure what was coming. I must admit that Vera and I are a little concerned with having you marry Vicky. Victor's long hesitation caused his wife to place a hand on his back and rub him up and down. Come on, honey. Well, Victor found his strength. Victor found his strength. Because you're a twice-removed ex-felon, we would never have let you step foot in here as if if it wasn't for your friendship with our daughter. So we wanted to extend our welcome, as according to Vicky, you have demonstrated that you are no longer the same man that went to prison. That you're now a very active member of our church. Well, not of the Mormon church, but, you know, it's a church nonetheless. The problem we have, well, as a registered sex offender, what kind of life can you possibly provide for our daughter?
How is this a conversation? This is not a real conversation. Usually we wouldn't be into those registered sex offenders, but since one's dead and my daughter, hey, you're welcome in my house. What the f*** do you mean?
Yeah, why would that change anything? Hey, okay, well, you're friends with our daughter, I guess?
Our daughter's got good taste, clearly. And that'd be so concerning.
Our retarded 20-year-old daughter vouched for you. Wow, what an endorsement. Your criminal history will forever plague your chances at a well-paid employment. Mind you, we aren't afraid of you. It's just as much as we're afraid for you, both of you.
Why would he be afraid? He's not at risk of getting raped by him.
Yeah.
Like that's not the point. He's a sex offender.
Yeah, this is a very weird conversation. Like, hey, so you want to date my daughter and you have been in prison more than once for women? Okay, our boy Damien replies, Victor, on the flight over here, I knew to expect a question like this. No reasonable parent would feel comfortable with their daughter marrying a man once convicted for without getting some definite answers. That just hold on a minute. He's leaving out a lot here.
What definite answers? Also, what definite answers would make me, like, if I'm in that position, okay with my daughter dating a There's no, like, answers that they'd be able to give me where I'd be like, yeah, okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, there's no, like, oh, it was a misunderstanding. Okay, sure, if you say so. That's just good parenting. I want you to know that I'm eternally grateful for what God has done for me. That is not a definite answer or anything, really.
That's just, I believe in God. That's his entire, like, countenance now. His counterpoint.
God is called our Heavenly Father, although I'm still not comfortable with referring to God as being male. But my point is, a good father will discipline a child that doesn't pay attention and misbehaves. I was sent to prison the first time because I was living a godless life of drug abuse. The second time because I allowed my hormones and lustful thoughts to take over all sound judgment. Both of those times, God had me sit in a corner just as a parent should. If God hadn't, I would still be living a monstrous existence without any chance of ever meeting this beautiful woman. Vicky leaned over and gave Damien a peck on his cheek.
That's not a romantic moment. That's not a cute moment or anything. He's talking about going to jail for
succumb to my hormones and I the woman and she goes, "Aw.
Oh, you thought I was beautiful." No.
Aw. This is turning into one of those like smut talk werewolf things, like characters here, Vicky.
Yeah. But wait. Also, just the whole idea of him like boiling down his prison sentence as basically just a timeout for him, just sitting in a corner, just as any good parent should. Eye rolling.
Which wasn't even a timeout. He still continued his hedonistic dick sucking even in prison. He was just having sex in the fucking janitor's closet. It's not like he actually, he didn't even have an actual timeout from anything.
It was a target-rich environment. He had a lot of penis available to him in a very close amount of space.
And wasn't he still like doing drugs in prison too? He mentioned one of the characters would be dealing in prison still.
I don't know.
You sound like someone full of regret, Damien. Do you believe you are forgiven of your sins? Victor asked him. Almost certainly. I haven't been able to contact any of my victims yet, and nothing would be better.
That's such a good sentence when the person you're talking to says, I haven't been able to contact any of my victims yet. My victims. You're right. You can marry my daughter.
I've said similar things in the past where like, okay, maybe I pranked this ex-friend of mine like a little too hard. Maybe I was a little, like, I was a dick. I should talk to that guy, you know, make amends. I've never referred to anybody as a victim. It's never a good sign.
It's not a good sign at all.
Oh, we're Damien Survivors Anonymous.
Yet, and nothing would be better than for me to ask them for their forgiveness, but I know in my heart that God and our Savior have accepted me. I was baptized 2 years ago in full belief of Jesus as my Christ. I've been washed clean of all my sins, including Adam's sin.
Ugh. This is one of the, like, I have nothing against religious people, but this is one, like, running theme where, like, the reason that scoundrels and criminals generally seek God in prison is they get to absolve themselves. Like, yeah, I didn't talk to any of my victims. I fucking drop kicked and sucker punched an old lady in front of the subway and murdered her, but I know that God forgives me, so I'm okay now. Like, that's not up to you. You can't just say, yeah, Christ forgives me, Muhammad forgives me. Like that, no, fuck you.
But that unfairly portrays like religion and faith in general when you start to think of people using it as a shield. Like there are, religious people out there that, live an honest life of faith, and then they have these kinds of people take over their faith and use it as a shield like that.
Yeah, it's like the whole meme of going to confession and just confessing your sins and then you do it all over again. I think religious people, you guys need to be more gatekeepy. Gatekeep your religion, bro.
For sure.
Tell these people, no, Jesus doesn't forgive you, actually. Fuck you. Like, I know you can't know God's heart and Jesus' heart and whatnot and the Holy Spirit and everything, and you're not their spokesperson, but like, you need to tell criminals, no, actually, you don't know that. You don't know if you're fine.
Yeah.
Maybe Jesus fucking hates you.
At least give religion a 3-strike policy as well, like California did. 3 times and you're out. No more sin. More sin cleansings or anything like that. That's it.
3 times and you're going to hell. Sorry.
Yeah.
You mean who's this now? Vera.
You mean the original sin?
Vera corrected.
Not quite. I'll take a chance here and help not to offend anyone at the table with my answer. I don't believe that Adam or Eve introduced the first sin and the first sinful nature of our race. You're saying that the Bible is wrong?
Victor asked.
So that whole paragraph is funny because like I didn't even do much editing there, but like I didn't cut out much. It literally went from him being accused, the father confronting him about his crimes and stuff, to of course, because it's Damien, a theological debate, and him actuallying them about the Bible.
I know. I was gonna say, like, pro tip: if you meet your girlfriend's religious folks, never ever start an actually like House MD debates, Lord.
Oh, definitely don't do it after you've just been like confronted about charges.
Right. That too, by the way. Like, worst fucking timing. But even at the best of times, even when you're getting along, you should never teach them about their own religion unless, pro tip, unless you go harder than they do. Like I did this with my wife's grandma where like I decided to be even more bigoted. And it really schmoozed me up to her. Like, she kind of got along with me after that. I was like, no, I think immigrants do go to hell. She was like, huh, you know what?
Doesn't sound like you were pretending. Sounds like the grandma was having to pretend to fit in with you, maybe.
She's like, oh, Jesus, this guy's a nut job.
This guy's a lunatic. I'm scared for my life. I better just nod and smile.
What a Bible thumper. All right. Victor looked again at his wife before answering. I believe I'm having a few of those kinds of relationships right now. But wait, is this Damien? Yes.
No,
I believe I'm having a few of those kind of relationships right now, but both with God, with my wife and daughter, and now with 2 sons. I see that you haven't only been reading scripture, Damien, but you've been going beyond the stories and studying their meaning. Assuming that you've gone past Genesis chapter 2, I presume. What is this fucking writing, by the way? This book is so ass.
Well, it's also better. Yeah, I know. Assuming and presuming in the same sentence is stupid, but also just in general, like I'm surprised that this guy can write it all. So that's kind of something.
Yeah, well, again, it's not him writing though. It's his boyfriend in the cell jotting all this down as he's like touching himself. Going, oh yeah, did you debate Lord him? Oh, did you debate him epic style on YouTube? Oh yeah. Damien replies,
Almost certainly. I don't mean to be sitting here all night and to discuss every book of all three testaments, even my thoughts on the Apocrypha and discourses, but my general opinion is a picture of God as a loving and strategic emperor who wanted to fulfill our desire to have a physical presence of leadership, although due to our own impurity just couldn't persist among us.
Victor, Vicky's father, cleared his throat to gain everyone's attention, then, loudly and clearly, told all of them, "To tell you the truth, Damien, I started to interrupt you a couple of times, but I didn't because I remembered that Vicky said you do need extra time to get your thoughts in sync with your lips. That Asperger's thing." However, it's like, yeah, I was going to cut you off because you're actually kind of retarded, but, I feel bad.
I feel bad for you.
Also, like, keep in mind, he comes across so sophisticated in his own retelling of the story. Like,
well, yeah, he's always a master debater / theologian / master chef.
So eloquent, so well spoken, and in real life, he's like a stuttering, bumbling tard, like an actual fucking special ed piece of shit.
Who even as a convicted, people feel sorry for him because he's so stupid.
Yeah, and the dad is like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go easy on you. However, I found your logic tonight with fairly good reasoning. You're all over the place with the topic at hand, but this doesn't mean that you're wrong nor avoiding the original question, and I respect this about you. I like what you had to say. A+ for effort."
I'd vote for you.
This is so condescending. I would not want to hear this from anybody.
No,
like, Kaya,
it's not real.
Stutter a lot.
It's not real.
I mean, this might be the only part that actually is real, in my opinion. This might be, he's still embellishing and like changing it, obviously, but I do believe that the father would have been like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, very good, Damien. I see you've read the Bible. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay, but Damien's Damien's interpreted it as like this guy is like fully saying he's a genius and things like that, because he does that a lot. Like every time he's in a debate or something, he comes out on top and everyone's like, "Wow, you really are so intelligent, Damien." Remember the fucking security guard one where he was like,
"Yeah,
oh wow, you get paid to protect your own stuff since you live in this apartment complex," and the security guard's mind was blown and he's like, "Jesus, how did you see through my scheme?
Yeah.
How did you see that? That's incredible, Damien. You're some kind of genius."
How did you deduce that? Oh, you have a keen eye, Mr. Sherlock.
Yeah, he
Damien.
said something like that. Yeah,
Damien Holmes. Okay, he continues. But
Damien Holmes.
Vicky and I.
Hold on. Oh, this is Damien, I think.
But Vicky and I have a separate surprise for you.
Oh, really? Neither Victor nor his wife, Vera, had been made aware of this beforehand.
Your daughter isn't going to become a Collins, and well, I've decided to no longer remain being one either. As you've been told by Vicky, I never had much of a family connection, even while I was living with them. I don't even consider myself as being a member of a family, well, except for a church family. That is, of course, until sitting here at this table. I'm changing my last name to yours, Victor. I want to.
What an insult.
It's such a, what a nightmare. What an embarrassing nightmare. Like, this is like the definition of inviting yourself to a party. Like, hey, I'm going to take your name, by the way. Like,
yeah, is that cool?
Yeah, no, that's not cool. Fuck it. I'd rather you just, like, my daughter change her name to yours, and then eventually when you guys do end up getting divorced, because you will go to prison again for, like, kitty, at least she can divorce you and change her name back. But
it's so presumptuous of him. Like, of course they'd want me to be a part of their family and change my last name to theirs. Of course they would. And it'd be an honor for them.
And also, I know I'm like all traditional and bigoted and backwards and old fashioned, but like, oh man taking his wife's name is so cringe to me still, even in 2025. Like, dude, you don't have to have a good relationship with your father. What does it matter? Just own it. It's your name now. I don't like my dad. My dad fucking walked out on us when I was a toddler still.
Oh my God. Stop trauma dumping.
I know. And
this
ever
isn't the
since
show for that guy.
I found God. Anyway, my point is I'm going to be Kaya Clarke now.
Yeah, you can change your name to Kaya Clarke. I'd be into that. Go for it.
It actually goes kind of hard, doesn't it? Kaya Clarke sounds like a superhero name.
Jackson Orson sounds kind of cool.
No, not
We
as
could
cool
swap
as Kaya
names.
Clarke. Isn't it the
Right,
thing
you can
with
have it.
Stan Lee? He would do alliterations with his names, like Peter Parker, Kaya Clarke. It works.
I don't see the alliteration, but yeah, okay. They're different letters.
Okay, well, I guess we can change it to Clark with a K at the beginning.
There we go.
Stop
That's kind of cool.
nitpicking.
Yeah. No, I like that. Go for it.
Damien couldn't get the final words of a sentence finished before the much stronger man, and only slightly older, came out of his distant
Does he
chair.
want to fuck him? Does he want to fuck him now? What's that about? It's like
Yeah.
complimenting him.
Yeah, that is a weird thing to throw in there. The alpha male. And only slightly older, came out of his distant chair around the table and embraced Damien in the tightest of enduring hugs. In fact, for about 3 seconds, Damien couldn't actually breathe. The man, his soon-to-be father-in-law, pulled only slightly away from him with a river of tears running down his hardened face from each eye.
What kind of delusional world is Damien living in where he came up with this idea that someone would be so moved to tears because he chose to take their name? What a narcissist.
This is like boomer slop. This is something that you would read on Facebook. This last paragraph, especially if you notice, like, and then yes, this convicted criminal, he changed his ways. He was no longer a human pit bull. He even took the 60-year-old boomer dad's last name and they lived happily ever after. Can we get an upvote for this veteran? Like, dude, this is fake. It's fake, but they have no immune system against this. I bet there's gotta be at least like some Facebook mom who read this book like, good. All right. Are you taking the next one?
Yeah. Chapter 44. Please stand up. From his table. Wait, where was this? His table. I don't know where we are now. I think we're back home, maybe. From his table, Damien could see the freshly cut grass performing a delicate dance in a mild breeze, which brought back memories of his quiet moments while still at CMC prison, with or without Charlie Oops by his side. So he's still fantasizing about that prison companion from back in the day.
Yeah, Charlie Oops. He's getting married.
Yeah, come on, move on. Move on from your prison mate. He was greeted at her door by, so he's going to meet his wife now, who they're still living separately. Or fiance, not married yet. He was greeted at her door by her scantily clad and radiant beauty, along with a deep and wet kiss. She seductively invited him inside, which was a break from their norm. Naturally, he was well pleased, yet a little confused, and stated as much. Were we going to group, which we never missed, or were we going to make a child? My first impulse, thanks to my Asperger's syndrome, would have been to turn away or refuse to enter her place because I didn't like being late to important events, but I allowed her to dictate the rest of my evening. This is another thing that he started doing. He started acting like he's fucking Sheldon from Big Bang Theory for some reason.
Yeah, and also the Asperger's just keeps coming up now. He really ramped it up. The book didn't start this way, and now it's he's kind of doing the thing where like modern people use autism. Like, I'm so autistic. I can only eat DoorDash chicken nuggets. I'm so autistic.
Well, he's doing the same thing that he's using Christianity for. He's using it as a shield to explain all of his horrible character traits. Like, no, that's just my Asperger's. So transparent. So when you ask me who the real Jesus is, whether he's the Jesus, the Christ, the Savior, the humble servant, or our Lord, the answer is simple. Jesus is us. Christ, like the Holy Spirit, lives through us and shares our life force. The spiritual provides you with the same energy that gives me life, gives my friends life, and gives Christ life. We are all connected through the energy which provides existence. End quote.
Again, not to tell religious folk your business, but like you have to keep this woo-woo nonsense. Like, yeah, I loosely believe in the Reddit version of Jesus, you know, we're all friends and hugs and kisses and whatever, man, peace. That's not religion. You can't just live your life that way and just be like, yeah, I the woman, but like hashtag live, laugh, love, hashtag be kind. Like religion doesn't just boil down to be kind and Christ gives life. What does that even mean?
No.
It means nothing.
Religion is about creating a set of morals for society to be governed by, like innate personal morals, right? It's like that was historically probably the point of religion.
Yeah, I just don't like it when it boils down to the most simple, like Tumblr ass hashtag. Niceness. What is Jesus? What does Christ mean to you? Nice. Niceness. Hugs, kisses. That doesn't mean
It's
anything.
the
Like
opposite
concretely.
of Satan and the dark side. The dark
Yeah.
side of the life force.
Oh, I've been saved by the good. Okay, what the fuck does that
Yoda.
mean? Like, what are you actually doing? Like, are you making any sacrifices? Are you even like, do you even follow Lent? Have you given up anything? Do you like, what the fuck? No, just
I'm so
hashtag I'm
close to
saved.
falling to the dark side, Kaya. To Satan's side.
Ugh.
Chapter 45, a new. I'll read the next two chapters and you
Okay.
take over for a bit. Chapter 45, a new family is born. Since it was my first ever communion, I could not wrap my mind around that image at all. I figured that God could have this switcheroo happen, our bread turn into the actual flesh within our mouths, and it would be within the realm of possibilities, though I couldn't morbidly imagine such. Vicky had similar feelings, however, she looked forward to it occurring. I was so moved that I almost broke down my usual barriers and cried. These hyper masculine barriers, no doubt. But also, so yeah, he's talking about like their first communion here, which I don't know anything about religion, but I think that's when you like eat the flesh of Christ or whatever, is like wafers or whatever. I don't really understand that entire concept, but yeah,
It's a
I think that's what they're
representation.
talking
You
about
don't
here.
actually believe that it's like literally human flesh.
Well, it sounds like he does. He says it looks like he believes that there's a possibility that the bread could turn into the actual flesh within our mouths, and it would be within the realm of possibilities.
Well, this fucking pervert would probably be into it anyway. Jeffrey Dahmer ass
Cannibalism.
weirdo.
Like, I think there was another element. There was a little period or a little side story in this act where he talked about cannibalism, but it was in a pretty boring way. It was like one of his cellmates was like pretending to be a cannibal or whatever. So it did come
For
up in
attention.
the. Yeah, I didn't include it because it was pretty boring overall, but yeah, it was in there. I think that a real part of my problem was the fact that although I was raised and lived longer in California than in Washington, I never could fit in there comfortably, surrounded by concrete rivers and man-made lakes, due to my established foundation as a mountain boy. Remember, he only lived in the mountains for
Yeah.
like 2 years, but because he was born there, he's a mountain boy.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't ever be cityfied. He couldn't be tamed.
I couldn't be
Such a joke.
cityfied. This guy who lived in California did drugs and had gay sex daily, by the way. Like, you are
just a-
cityfied.
He's just a country boy, Kaya.
Mm-hmm.
Lives on a tractor, wears overalls. The answer to their combined questions came in the form of, so they were talking about like where should they move after they get married because they want to leave California. The answer to their combined questions came in the form of the state of Ohio. The facts that they wanted to live in a small town environment, be near to a Mormon church or RLDS congregation, have a college Damien could go to, plus at the time, didn't enforce sexual offenders to register to any publicly accessible database, which, as Damien researched, would vastly improve his chances of finding and maintaining employment. That's great. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. You know, yeah, I mean, again, so when I talk to my wife, and I'm sure you've talked to your fiance about like, where do we eventually want to live? Usually it's things like climate, right? Like, I like rain. I like the cold. My wife hates that stuff, so we're going to be in warm places. It never comes up like, yeah, you know, if we go to so-and-so place, I can stay off the sex offender registry. That would be rad, huh?
That's like 90% of his decision.
I wouldn't have to knock on our neighbors' doors and notify them that I'm a sex offender and a danger to their children. That would be neat. Ugh.
So slimy.
Mm-hmm.
God is within us. The Christ and Holy Spirit is within. I can't tell you how much of this fucking book was just endless religious waffling on. It was so annoying to read. I'm not like an anti-religious person or anything, but when it's from a fucking convicted pedophile / rapist, yeah, it gets pretty fucking grating.
Mm-hmm.
God is within us. The Christ and Holy Spirit is within us, and we are within each of them. That is the family connection. What is called the Trinity is really a quadrinity, of Father, Son, Spirit, and fellowship.
Oh my
He's been
God.
watching The Lord of the Rings. What the fuck is that?
He's like doing the Tumblr thing where the girlies, they will like add canon to the story.
Yeah.
Like, no, actually, House and Wilson, they were a couple. Sherlock and Watson, they made out behind the scenes. No, it's not the Trinity. It's actually the Quadnity. Because the Father and the Son.
This isn't even like religious analysis or anything. He's literally just creating his own fan fiction of the Bible.
Yeah, which includes him. Surprise, surprise. Again, I think we've established now neither of us have a whole lot to negative to say about like people following regular religion, but you gotta gatekeep these people. You can't have people on death row like, yes, Jesus is my salvation. He forgives me. No, he doesn't. You're going to hell. Fuck you.
Yeah, if he was really being honest here, it would say what is called the Trinity is really a quadnity of Father, Son, Spirit, and Child. That's what he wants to be true. That's what he means here.
If he was honest, he would be like, yeah, I'm going to hell. I fucking 15-year-old who was drunk. I'm going to hell. Them's the breaks.
After oh yeah, so this is in like one of their religious groups. After a quiet second, Alan replied, "Now that is deep. So deep that I think we are all drowning. What is that statement even supposed to mean?" So this guy's like fucking sick of Damien's, highbrow religious analysis. Which part? Damien asked and didn't wait for an answer. I'm assuming that you know what ecological means? The relationship between organisms and their environments. We, of course, are organisms, or in Alan's case, the parasite. And the world of creation is our surroundings. Claws out, Damien. Getting catty over here. My God. One guy fucking
Who's
disagrees with... Alan's just some guy in the fucking Bible study group that they're in.
Okay.
So he was like disagreeing with whatever Damien was saying, basically, or
so now he's getting all smug. Like, you know what
smug.
Ecology means?
Imagine getting lectured by a rapist.
I know. Seriously, a low IQ aspy sped rapist too. It just it gives that. You know that like infamous now video where it's a bunch of people and they're taking IQ tests, and there's like some girly with a gender degree study or gender studies degree who's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna be the highest IQ here, and then she's dead last. That's what Damien sounds like. Okay, am I taking this one?
No, I'll take one more, and then you can go for a few.
Okay.
For chapter 46, Arrivals. Vicky and Damien decided that they would walk up the aisle together instead of having the father of the bride escort her to the awaiting groom. So, again, he's such a religious, like, fundamentalist through all of the other texts, but then as soon as he's got a chance to break from tradition, he takes it for some reason, like with the name, last name change, this, as well as fucking her as soon as he proposed to her instead of waiting for the marriage night. Like, there's all these different things where he's like, nah, God would want me to do this. Fuck the Bible. Fuck whatever, the agreed upon traditions are.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, the walk was somewhat strange since neither could concentrate on doing so. His eyes couldn't be taken off his beautiful bride without huge amounts of effort and never remained off of her for long. Then it was as if I could hear the very voice of God saying, "I now pronounce you man and wife. You may kiss you bride." We looked at each other for a silent moment, unable to move. Then Vicky's own father spoke out, "Go on, son." And we kissed passionately.
Oh my God, this is not an Air Bud movie. This is like such a Hallmark moments that he just watched on TV. Like, yeah, and then my dad now, officially, a Collins. Wait, what's his name? Was it dad's last name Collins or whatever the fuck?
No. His name, Latik. It's still the name he's using, by the way, in the book.
Anyway, he clapped. It actually is like one of those like, and then everybody clapped stories that you see on the internet.
Then came the most beautiful words on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to present to you Mr. and Mrs. Damien Latik. That was the moment when I truly realized what we had done. We had finally broken the Collins family curse and gave birth to something completely new for the both of us, and so ended our personal/private worlds. Yeah, the Collins curse is truly broken considering he's in prison currently for the rest of his life.
Which, again, Reminder, by the way, the only reason he's doing this is to keep his real name, his original name, off of the sex offender registry.
Oh, which is why he probably
his
took
new
her name as well.
That's what I'm saying. He's only doing this so that when people look him up, like Damian Collins, they may get results, but they're not going to get the same results for like Damian Latrigue or Latrine or whatever the fuck he's calling himself now.
Yeah.
He's only using this woman as like a cloak, like a shield.
Just as he uses religion, just as he uses Asperger's, just as he used his fucking psychiatrist sugar daddy as well. He uses everyone. Even in his own made up fantasies here, he uses everyone. It's crazy.
He's stupid, but he is cunning in his own way. Like he's setting up this entire marriage just to cloak his prior sex offenses. Like, shit. Okay, well, they got me, but what if I marry a girl and take her name? Then my name would change.
No, he's stupid. He's stupid. He's just fortunate that, if this story is true, he's just fortunate that other people are either just as or more stupid than him. Like what he was saying before about the parasite, he is a parasite. Parasites aren't smart for being parasitic. It's just in their character and behavior. He's just fundamentally that. I don't think he's smart.
Yeah, I said he's not smart. He's just like, he knows how to be slimy at least. He's smart enough for that.
I joined her in a final visit to Claremont School of Theology, both at the campus apartments and the administration building. She'd been a student there for so long that most of the staff I knew her by sight and by name. Since the school semester was over, it was June 26, nearly everyone had left on summer vacation. Only a skeleton crew of instructors and students remained. One such workaholic was none other than the one person at this college I was personally hoping to see, Dr. John Cobb Jr. He was likewise happy to see the two of us, and that is an Avengers moment. That's a name drop. Remember, John Cobb Jr. is the guy who wrote the foreword of the book. Remember that guy?
No, what?
Yeah.
Oh, it's him? That is an Avengers moment. Oh my god, it's
he showed
just
up
like when
in the story.
Captain America picks up the hammer.
Is it more like when Stan Lee cameos in these movies? I guess that's more like that, actually.
Anyway, it's the moment where everybody in the movie theater goes,
claps. I know that guy. No, but it is funny. Now it makes sense how he was able to get John Cobb Jr. or whatever the fuck his name is, to write the foreword to this book, because apparently they were acquaintances at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I've immensely enjoyed our talks together. You have a fine grasp of Whitehead's concepts. I appreciate the insight you provided from a young student's perspective. Believe it or not, Damien, you've inspired me towards my next project. It'll be a commentary to help beginners discover process theology and tackle Whitehead's book. I've inspired you?
By the way, same theme here as when he inspired that other psychologist into discovering Asperger's or naming it.
Yeah, everything. He inspires everyone he comes across because he's such a genius and so intelligent and so fucking just revolutionary.
Chat says call them the offenders.
Not the Avengers, the offenders.
I like that. That's clever.
Shout out to our Discord chat who's listening live to us while we record this. You can also join them at official.men, 7-day free trial. You get early access to all of our shows, and you can join the Discord live calls so that you can listen live.
And put in zingers in our chat, like Lord Monkey here.
Yeah, you feed us the jokes so we can be funny. It's so easy when we've got an audience here to just feed us jokes. Yeah, we're hacks. But yeah, he's such a genius and he's so inspiring. I've inspired you? Damien was flabbergasted. Dr. Cobb, you're the one who's done all of the inspiring. Learning about process philosophy and theology have changed my life forever. I finally have a crystal clear opinion of God and Christ, which works best for me. So this shout out to you, Dr. John Cobb, if you're still alive. You caused this to... Oh, he's not? Yeah, that's right. He died. Never mind.
He died at 99. Well, I was wondering, maybe we could read his book next.
No, he did not die in 99. He died in like 2019.
No, he died at 99, I think.
Oh, right.
I'm pretty sure. And I was gonna say maybe we could read his book next if it was such an inspiration to Damien here. Could be fun too. I wonder.
It would not be fun. It'd be boring.
Yeah, maybe. But I wonder if there's more pedo books like this because this has been quite amusing. I wonder. There's gotta be, right?
Well, we'll see when we come around to the next. There's definitely a lot of To Catch a Predator predators who have an enormous amount of written material out there. Like there's a very famous one. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but there's a very famous one where we could go on for like 10 episodes straight of just reading. He's writing.
Oh, that makes me happy to hear. All right, good.
Criminally Stupid, even if we just like boil it down to its bare structure of what I envisioned at the start of the series, which is just reacting to Catch a Predator predators in chronological order, like that alone is content for like 10 years, I think. Like we have so much to dive into over time.
And there's new content being created too, by the way. Chris Hansen now is doing the Roblox documentary, something with that. So thank you, Mr. Chris Hansen. I will happily be whatever those fish are that like attach themselves to the great white sharks and just like clean its skin or whatever as it's going around just eating shit.
Yeah. Keep producing content for us, Chris. We love it.
Yeah.
As have I, Damien admitted. Vicky, oh no, yeah, I remember what this is about. Vicky, I absolutely want one. Maybe a pair of kids, so they'll have a lifelong companion like you and your brother Vincent have. It's something I always wished I had. So tell me, boy or girl? That's Vicky, by the way. Girl, Damien replied without hesitation. I want the advantage that girls tend to grow up more mature than boys and faster, and I will need to become used to raising children in a Christian way before a second one, especially if it's a boy. That's concerning.
Yeah, it is concerning. It's weird if you have that strong of an opinion on like, girl, like without hesitation, girl, I want a girl.
Because she matures quicker.
Yeah, they mature so fast. You're so mature for your age, daughter.
That's so gross, yeah.
Let this be our little secret. Your mom wouldn't get it.
Someone in chat said, add a black son. I want a daughter and a black son.
Oh, no. All right, my turn?
Yeah, you can take the next few.
All right. Chapter 47, Finding Ohio. This is...
Han, seriously, I got this. Nothing would please me more than to cook the two of you these eggs,
Damien stated to both women. And sure enough, they stepped away and allowed the chef to regain his domain. Coincidentally, the hollandaise sauce came out absolutely elegant. Of course it did. Hannibal Lecter again here at the stove.
In August, I started going to school again at the University of Ohio, Cleveland. I was filled with confidence by the fact that all I needed to do was register for my classes and maintain a 3.8 GPA or better. It felt real good being accepted to several universities, then to have the choice of a top drawer school like CSU to attend and someday earn my degree from.
Vicky was so proud of her husband's freedom, slightly jealous at times, to choose between schools and attend the Cleveland campus. I like how all the other schools are like Harvard and Stanford. They're all reaching out to Damien here. You know, they're like, please
By the way,
come study here.
Just for context as well, Vicky had just graduated with a master's of like theology or something. She went through a master's course basically. She's 25. She just got her master's, and also now they had both moved to Ohio, and she was working as like, I think some kind of receptionist or something. Meanwhile, he's talking about go like continuing in the university kind of field and taking on new classes and things like that.
I was going to say, I don't think there's anything wrong with older people going to college again. Like if you're 50 and you just want to, I don't know, study math or like law or some shit and you want to go to college, I think that's fine. But Damien definitely comes across as the kind of guy who, if he could go back to high school, he would do that instead, right? Like it kind of just, I get the feeling he just wants to be around younger people more so than he just wants to study.
I think it's more so, it's the thing where it's like, there's people that just stay in academia to avoid getting a job. And I feel like that's definitely more so.
No, that too. But I'm saying like, He wouldn't be doing this if the rest of his class was in his age range. I think he's very excited about going to college because all the other his classmates are like 20-year-old women.
Yeah, probably. It's probably both.
Yeah. Damien was blessed by God in that his wife understood how school came first. Then he'd look for a job, the best one could around a busy schedule. He was offered a job at a restaurant, which he turned down because of his class schedule conflicted with the hours they needed him. This frustrated him to no end until Vicky finally made a decision. Damien would not get a job.
Yeah, I'm sure she made that decision. Don't worry, Damien.
Yeah.
I'll provide for the both of us.
Yeah,
You
no. Don't be a
fuck me.
waiter. It'll clash with your schedule of studying how Jesus loves everyone or something.
Oh, God, so offensive. So offensive believing that this woman would have allowed her 35-year-old husband to just be a stay-at-home college student, basically, and then fund his entire life.
Yeah, basically like a work-shy house himbo. Like, why would any woman agree to this?
I know this book is all fantasy and made up, basically. I know that now, surely. But also, like, just let's act like it's real. How does everyone in his life want to help him so bad when he has literally zero to offer the world? Like, he has not helped anyone at all throughout this entire book. In fact, he's been
It's not
detrimental.
everyone in his life. It's new victims that he finds, like this girl and her family, according to him. Remember his original family? The people that actually know him, they were fucking hitting him with a belt. Like, Damien, you fucking loser. His dad knew. I'm fully on his dad's side for abusing him.
For leaving him at the age of 2. He knew how this was going to turn out.
Our life was smoothing out fairly well and without trauma. Vicky was hired to teach 5th and 6th grades at the local elementary school.
And that turned me on.
Yeah.
While I focused completely on my degree, a few months passed us by like a soothing midsummer breeze. Only that it was now October. Vicky and I were doing well to the point that we were able to rent a 2-bedroom apartment in Bedford Heights, a small town just south of Cleveland, northwest of Kent.
On one income? Damn.
Yeah, I guess.
Not
Well, it says
bad.
Vicky and I were doing well.
Well, no, he was still only studying. I know that for sure. Throughout the entire book, he never has a job. Just so you know.
Okay.
Ever.
A couple of years of living in Bedford Heights passed rather quickly.
Oh, actually, that's not true.
Before-
That's not true. I just remembered where this goes. Sorry, my bad. Continue.
And before Damien knew it, he graduated from Kent State with his bachelor's degree at the age of 42. Although, Jesus, he's 42 now. Although he was certainly the oldest of his graduating class, this did not discourage him from walking across the stage at a ceremony. That same year, Vicky and Damien were nominated as delegates to the RLDS, World Church Conference at the Temple in Independence, Missouri. For Damien, his life was taking on a new dimension as both a church member and a husband. Soon, he was going to be a father. Also during that January 2000s, Damien and Vicky had moved from the two-bedroom apartment into a 3-bedroom condo which featured a mortgage, not a lease, something neither of them had ever done before. Thanks to his college degree, Damien applied to several job positions with the Count of Cuyahoga, a population of just under 1.4 million, either as a drug and alcohol abuse counselor, a codependency counselor, or, strange as this sounds, a relationship counselor. For a guy who spends half of his life having trouble building friendships or maintaining them, Damien was looking soon to be considered an expert at them, as well as to be paid rather nicely for doing what he enjoyed, bettering lives.
Okay, let's deconstruct this a little bit. First of all, I love the typo of Count of Cuyahoga. It sounds like some Transylvanian vampire. And then second of all, the fact that he's like, his only job prospects are so ill-fitted for this guy is just crazy, man.
Yeah, it's like, hey, guys, I got a new job. I'm going to have to quit this podcast. I'm going to be counseling people on how to make nice jokes, nothing offensive or edgy. No more slurs. I'm an expert, actually.
Like literally the worst job.
A total of 3 men and 4 women had arrived. None of them happened to be members of their church, which was exactly what Damien was hoping for.
Welcome, everybody. Please have a seat. My gosh, is that another car pulling up? Oh my God, we're going to need some more chairs. Anyway, hi, I'm Damien, and this is my wife, Vicky. Welcome to our home and to the first meeting of the Bedford Heights group. To the boys, girls, ladies, and dudes of all teen ages, shall we begin?
Oh my God. So
To
he's
the
made his
boy.
own his own church group again, basically. That's like all he does in this fucking book is basically every time he's thrown into a new prison or a new city or a situation, his first thing is now making like his own little Bible group that he can talk to people to. I think
Yeah,
that's
like
how he portrays himself to be a good guy. He's
A
spreading the
little
word.
cult. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, he's spreading the word, and I like how he goes to the boys and girls.
Yeah.
Just say ladies and gentlemen, it's fine, but no, it has to be boys. To the boys. Chapter 48, Unexpected U-Turns. Regrettably, even with all of these positive events occurring in his life, the nice home in Ohio, the small group he'd started, even the likely prospect at a country job as a counselor, Damon's twisting road of turmoil was far from straightened out. In fact, a rather sharp, hairpin turn was directly ahead. Whether it was the application for a mortgage or a job with the county, unforeseen trouble from Damien's past had located him. Dun,
Oh, what a
dun,
surprise.
dun.
It's the Terminator.
Halfway through his morning shift that Friday, Damien's name was called over the store's public address system speakers, asking him to come to the customer service desk, which seemed normal enough since he was called there many times throughout the shift to approve a customer's merchandising return. One of the two plainclothed detectives standing there showed Damien his badge. Before asking, "Excuse me, are you Damien Collins?" Automatically, Damien's defense went on red alert. Nobody in the state of Ohio knew him as a Collins, and at the sight of that police badge, he became fidgety. I used to be Damien Collins. I mean, I changed my name when I got married. It's Lartigue now. Well, sir, we're going to need you to come with us. But I'm here. I'm working. Sir, we have the authority to legally detain you unless you're willing to voluntarily come with us. The detective's initially polite attitude was hardening. Okay. Let me just let my manager know and grab my coat. Actually, I'll grab your coat if you show us where it is. Am I in trouble or something? Damien asks. That remains to be seen, Mr. Collins. Damien was so nervous. Damien was so nervous. And I like how this is again, one of the very brief, few, far in between honest moments where he's like, yeah, I stuttered like a spaz.
I know.
Damien was so nervous in the police vehicle that an unfortunate situation was created. Damien told me, sometimes we have our accidents. We poop ourselves. This again. What? I can't even tell if this is like a metaphor. All right. Sometimes we have our accidents. We poop ourselves. That was a very uncomfortable ride home that day.
No notes.
All right.
Nothing.
For the record, the man spoke towards the tape recorder. The suspect, Damien Collins Lartigue, has offered a confession of identity towards the outstanding arrest warrant faxed to our Cleveland office from California. The other detective spoke while paraphrasing from a piece of paper he now held up. Mr. Collins, you're being sought in Claremont, California for violation of Penal Code Section 290, failure to register as a sex offender, for leaving the state of your felony parole conditions without notification, and for evading arrest. You are... Wait, what? I've done none of that. I mailed the Claremont police a letter telling them... What?
I'm still laughing at the fucking shitting himself in the fucking police vehicle.
I've done none of that. I mailed the Claremont police a letter telling them I was leaving California. I even have that small green postcard they mailed back to you.
Sir, that's an argument between you and the state of California. Today, our job is to.
But this is a mistake. just some clerical error or something. Vicky and I, we gave them the address in our church of Kirtland.
Sir, the other possibly more experienced detective spoke. Let me explain how extradition works. Our job is to hold you because there's been an arrest warrant signed and filed. We are not sending you to California. They have asked us to detain you until they come to pick you up. That is the extent of our job. If, however, he paused to read the unfamiliar city's name again. The Claremont police fail to pick you up within 15 business days, you will be released by us. First off, it's 15 business days. The experienced guard strongly emphasized the word business. So the weekends don't count. Secondly, you're leaving for California tomorrow. A transport team called this morning and they will be in town tonight. Pick you up tomorrow. So have all of your shit ready to go by breakfast. And Damien replies, thanks. The final morning, I found myself eager to be picked up by the Claremont police. Because, as the arresting officers explained, my legal fight was with California, not Ohio, and I wanted the simple clerical error put behind myself. I was already more concerned with how I was going to be traveling back to Ohio from California than to worry about what might go wrong in court. Damien was allowed to eat the same snack food served to all the passengers, and even once allowed to use the seasoned 737's lavatory. A movie was played on the 4-hour flight, yet Damien wasn't offered the chance to receive headphones to listen to it. ... Not that he really was in the mood for entertainment, only for his situation to be over with.
What a fucking diva. Yeah.
Yeah, poor Damien. Oh no, he didn't get to watch a movie.
All right, so he's being arrested for like parole violations, basically, even though he claims that he mailed them a letter saying that he was moving to Ohio.
Yeah, which I don't believe. Am I taking the next one too?
No, I'll take the next one. Okay. Chapter 49, ever-increasing excrement. Once again, although needlessly, he brought up the fact that he'd sent a certified letter to that very building informing them of his plans to move out to Ohio. Unfortunately, the interviewer neither had any recorded confirmation of this nor Damien's letter or a photocopy of it within his case file, which was normal police procedure. Another interviewer asked Damien the same quintessential question, which I myself had wondered about while editing the story. With something this important, why did he rely on sending a letter? Why didn't he come to the police station in person? Damien answered, I'm retarded, but am I perfect? No.
What do you mean, but? The word but doesn't belong in that. I'm retarded, but I'm not perfect.
Damien explained that their police station nearly always had hour-long waiting lines for those needing to register as a sex or narcotics. Sorry. A sex or narcotics offender, and with all of his preparations with their move, sending a letter was the most convenient. In hindsight, he now realizes that he should have not only gone to the police station in person, but also brought along a video camera to record everything, especially the date and time. No, you didn't need to do all that.
Yeah, no, maybe just, you can send letters with the, I don't know what they call it in English, but like a certified mail, I guess, where the receiving party has to sign it as evidence that they received it.
Yeah.
It's not that complicated.
That morning, along the way towards the Central Court District, the inmate sitting next to me asked the usual question of, so what are you in for? And I replied with my common response that I'd violated parole. A violation? The young man asked. But then why are you on this bus? I mean, don't all violators go to court in the afternoons? This was Damien's first sign that perhaps his case was a bit more serious than just a simple paperwork mishap. Not the fact that they went all the way to Ohio to extradite him back to California.
Yeah.
Surely that's
He's
probably
getting hunted down by law enforcement.
I thought my paid lawyer, hired over the phone by my wife, would be explaining the entire situation in court that day, and I'd be going home, or at the worst, required to perform some, light community service. At his arraignment hearing, Damien met his attorney for the first time, a pleasant enough looking white businessman with dark brown hair and in his 40s. However, due to all of the rapid activity and time constraints within the courtroom, they only had 2 or 3 minutes to talk. Technically, it was all whispering. Well, the good news, Mr. Latigue, is that the district attorney has dropped counts 2 and 3 of your indictment, the fleeing and violation of parole conditions. Since you clearly weren't any longer on parole when you'd moved out of state, they are now only pushing forward with count 1, your failure to register under Penal Code 290. Yes, I understand that, Damien replied. But
He's
as
so
Vicky
smart.
already told you. Yeah, I know. He's also
yeah.
studied law.
Yeah.
I understand all of that. Yes, let justice be done, though the heavens may fall, my dear. But will I go to prison?
He's smart enough to understand that, but also stupid enough to be in the situation in the first place.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand that, Damien replied. But as Vicky already told you, we sent the police a certified letter telling them we were leaving California. Your wife did explain that, and if this case goes to trial, we'll be calling her as a witness. The middle-aged man then frowned because he disliked being the bearer of bad news. Unfortunately, no trace of this letter can be found. The Claremont police have no record of ever receiving it in their logbooks.
By the way, they pointed it out. He sent a certified letter, which the police say never arrived. So this guy's just lying now.
Yeah, for sure. So what am I looking at? A year in jail? Do I have to pay some fine? No, it's much more serious than that, Mr. Latigue. This is a third strike case. Unless we can afford some leniency from the judge at your Romero hearing, you could be sentenced to 25 years. It's like an unpaid parking violation gets in 25 years. Uh-huh.
It's the title of the book, Third Strike. Roll credits.
During Damien's prior time within any jail or prison, California hadn't yet enacted its current 3 strikes law, an outrageously written felony sentencing enhancement section of their penal code. This was something entirely new to Damien, although months after being paroled from Chuckawalla Valley State Prison, he'd heard of guys receiving indeterminate sentences for the most minor offenses. From the years 1993 to 2012, criminals were being given 25 years to life for stealing their neighbor's lawnmower, as long as they had once upon a time been convicted of a violent or serious felony within any state. It didn't matter if your latest crime was violent or not, you were instantly deemed a rehabilitation failure and threat to society, locked away for over 2 decades if you survived that long.
Right, because you are.
Yeah.
If you prove 3 times
that's the point.
that you... Yeah. Like, okay, well, you are in court again after getting caught again, after killing, assaulting people again 3 times. I think you're a rehabilitation failure. It's not working. You're going away for good this time. I think that's fair.
Exactly. Yeah. Such a joke. And also the fucking summing this up as if like criminals were just stealing their neighbor's lawnmower. No,
Yeah,
they had
seriously.
previously committed 2 violent crimes. Doesn't matter at that point.
A woman asked you for a ride to the airport and you her.
Yeah. But Kaya, he just stole a lawnmower. No.
He would just a victim to his hormones, and God forgives.
It didn't matter if your latest crime was violent or not. You were instantly... I've already read that. Thankfully, in November of 2012, the state's voters realized that from how erroneously 3 strikes had been written into law, the inmate population was swelling to nearly 200,000. Isn't that a good thing if criminals are taken off the streets, guys?
Yes.
Okay. Why are they in prison? They should be out there stealing lawnmowers.
I love that too.
Shoplifters-
Whenever like prison abolitionists, they mention like the number, like, oh, there's so many criminals, hundreds of thousands of millions of people. It's like, yeah, I mean, I guess millions of people are committing crimes. What the fuck do you want? Just build more prisons.
Bring back
It is
corporal
what it
punishment.
Yeah, like why do we have to have an upper quota? Like, oh, there may never be more people in prison than like 2,000 at a time. Why? If you guys are going around raping women in cabs.
And stealing my lawnmowers. shoplifters and drug abusers were serving life sentences and that this needed to stop. What? Almost as much as taxpayer money was being spent on state prisons as was being spent on public elementary schools. They voted for some minor changes. Wait, so okay, we need to spend more on public elementary school and let more rapists out in exchange. Okay,
Yeah.
guys. Of course, this is coming from two people who are currently in prison on extended sentences. So, wonder why. They vote. If you have the same argument as these guys, by the way, maybe not the best side to be on. If you're arguing on the same side as a convicted rapist who literally got done in 3 different times for horrible shit.
Well, to be fair, growing up, I also had that viewpoint where like, oh, the private prison industry, the prison industrial complex. But now that I'm older, I'm thinking about it, and it's like, it's actually one of the most morally good and ethical industries out there where, okay, well, we're paying these guys to keep demonic, sadistic creeps off the streets. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that, actually, having as much funding as elementary schools. Good, yeah. Some of my taxpayer money is going to go to keeping Damien Latrigue behind bars. I'm okay with that. I prefer they just execute him, but like
dead, yeah. It's got to be cheaper.
But like, I mean, just like pound for pound, as far as like where my money is going, okay, yeah, sure. Like keep these people in a cage. I'm okay with my money going to caging people.
Yeah, if the other like solution is just to free them. Yeah.
Yeah,
obviously.
or give them free education. No, not doing that. Take my taxpayer money and put him in a fucking cell. Put him in an 8x6. I'm good.
They voted for some minor changes to the 3 strikes law, which helped bring the population down slightly. Regrettably, not nearly enough. Well, maybe stop fucking committing crimes, you fucking idiots. Jesus. Not that hard.
Yeah.
It's really not that hard. For ex-convicts of any sexually based crime, as Damien's 1990, I like how it's like a fucking, he's got years on his now. Damien's best of.
It's like a franchise.
Counting down from the year 2000, yeah.
1990 to 3D. For the revenge.
The revenge of Damien. Leave your comment below for which one of Damien's you like the most. I'm more of an 85 kind of guy personally, but
it's like fine wine.
Yeah. As Damien's 1990, these 2012 changes to sentencing enhancements do not affect them. Once a person has been found guilty of or any other type of sex crime, any minor offense committed years later can still cause them to spend the rest of their lives in prison. Good. I don't care. Due to his prior criminal history, Damien was placed within a much-needed protective custody unit which lacked any serious violence throughout the entire time he was there. Amongst all of the type of felony charges his fellow inmates were facing, a majority of them were for various sexual offenses, including child molestation, the undeniably most heinous of all crimes, and yet even those offenders were safe from harm.
Oh, nice.
I love how. By the way, he hasn't any children yet in the story. But I noticed that he constantly dumps these little tidbits in here about how bad child is and stuff like that, because he clearly is not for that, guys. He hates child as well. All right, just so we all know. Just so we all know, he's not on that. He's not a fan of that stuff. Hello, my love. Damien happily greeted his wife before she said anything. So that he's still in prison, and Vicky is now calling him. For 2 seconds, there was only silence from her end, making Damien to initially believe that the phone system was having technical problems, but soon he heard a response. Damien, we have to talk. Immediately, Damien noticed something odd with the tone of Vicky's voice. It sounded as when someone had embarrassingly injured themselves, hurt and angry at the same time. Hun? What's wrong?
Oh, no.
He inquired out of concern. The first assumption to spring to mind was that she's pregnant, but then why would she be sad? Yeah.
What?
She's pregnant, Damien. Yeah. That's why. That's why she sounds sad that you're in fucking prison, you fucking dipshit. Oh my God. I spoke with some lawyers. Yours, I think. The person she'd spoke with was actually a paralegal of the district attorney's office, performing background research of exactly when they'd moved to Ohio. Vicky then loudly cleared her throat. Dee, what aren't you telling me? What? What do you mean? The confused husband asked. Nobody gets sent to prison for life because they violated a condition of their parole. Stop lying to me. What did you really do? What are you hiding from me? I'm not. Did you kill somebody? Is that why you were so eager to leave California? Oh God, did we move to Ohio just so that you could hide from the police?
Yes, you did. Ah, this poor woman.
Yeah, if she's real, this poor woman. Although, why would he be writing this if this was some performative, made up story? Him including this does make it seem more real, the wife aspect of this.
No, there wasn't any hiding or killing. I never did anything like that. But then, why are they threatening to send you to prison for life? They want to sentence me under this new 3 strikes law because I have that.
He suddenly lowered his voice to a whisper so nobody could eavesdrop. That sex crime on my record, but I didn't hurt anybody, Vicky, I swear. You know, we went that registered letter and I was following all of their rules. We went that letter.
And I guess. Might have been my mistake, honestly. I don't know which ones are his mistakes and which ones are mine.
But it just doesn't make any sense. People don't go to prison for the rest of their lives for what you told me. Damien, if you truly love me, you'll tell me what you really did wrong. Vicky, I swear to you, this failure to register nonsense is all that I did, all that I'm being charged with. Oh, why can't I believe you? That doesn't sound right. The legal system doesn't work that way. Nobody gets 25 to life because they forgot to send paperwork. Damien,
she said with a particular sadness in her voice.
If you can't be honest with me, then I can't be with you. What? What are you saying?
He claimed out of frustration. The voice hurts my throat.
I know.
Damien, I can't be married to a liar.
She was obviously crying at this moment, and Damien couldn't do nor say anything which would comfort her from the many miles away.
But I'm not lying, Vicky. I love...
was all he could get out before her voice was replaced by an annoying dial tone. For the following 2 days, each time Damien dialed and attempted to get through Vicky, the collect phone calls, charged words, accepted. Loser. Most of his calls weren't even answered on the Ohio end, thanks possibly to her having caller ID on the phone.
On Thursday night, Damien received his first ever letter sent to this latest California address. An upbeat and cheerful letter from his wife full of renewed hope that he'd soon be released and able to return home to her. The letter, because of the delay with incoming in mail, had been sent by Vicky long before she had spoken to anyone about the possible maximum prison sentence Damien could very well receive, as well as their shockingly unpleasant phone call. So he was receiving mail after that phone call as well that was all like upbeat and positive from her, and then they'd just slowly probably get more depressed over time. That's so funny.
Wait, you said a year?
I don't know.
No. I'm like Damien. I would imagine Damien told her he was gonna only have to serve like a year on principle. Like, yeah, we misfiled the paperwork.
Yeah. And then she spoke to the lawyers, and they're like 25 years to life is what he's facing.
Like, no, lady, we're putting him away. Your creepo husband is a danger to society. Sorry.
He stole my lawnmower. He would receive 2 more such happy letters from her until all mail abruptly stopped. The only other phone number he could remember by heart was for his lifelong friend and former employer, Dr. Sam Riley. However, for presently unknown reasons, even Sam was likewise not answering his phones, home nor business numbers. So of course he fucking, pulls out in case of emergency, breaks that glass immediately to the fucking. Remember when he left Sam Riley's house and he was like, "Thank you for all you've done for me, Sam. But if I ever fail out there on my own, please make sure this nest is ready for me to land in."
Yeah, I hope you have a room for me.
Fucking dickhead. And of course, now that he's in jail, he immediately calls his fucking sugar daddy.
Yeah. Also, he says,
"No, I totally am gay."
The only phone number he could remember was Sam's home number, but also his work, his business number.
Yeah, well, he did work at the business, so that's fair enough. It was a full month later. I'm sorry. It was a full month later that I had my first attorney-client meeting about what this lawyer was recommending and what the deputy district attorney was willing to do in my case. The prosecutor, of all people, was actually in agreement that this matter was really too minor, pun intended, was too minor for sentencing under 3 strikes, yet both his and the judge's own hands were tied by the sentencing enhancements required under state law. The judge would simply not be able to give less than 6 years, 1 year for the offense and 5 for all of the mandatory prison prior enhancements stacked consecutively. I still did have the choice of fighting my felony charge and taking things to a jury trial. However, as my lawyer warned me, if I lost a trial, the judge would be forced by law to imbue all 25 years, plus the enhancements, for previously being in prison, totaling 40 years in prison. Those seem to be my only 2 choices. Either I take 6 years or 4 decades. There simply wasn't anything less, and my chances weren't good at a jury trial, especially since our star witness Vicky wasn't even speaking to me. The news brought a wave of tears to my eyes. I was so filled with confusion and a deep depression. I could not understand how the sex crime I was convicted of, and punishable by only 3 years, paled in comparison to my so-called failure to register as a sex offender of that crime, and would earn me twice this original amount of prison time. You fucking idiot. It's because of this. It's because that charge exists in the first place. What don't you understand?
Well, also, yeah, you got off multiple times for people. That means you have to stick to the law extra hard. You can't be like even jaywalking. Oh yeah, I failed to register as a fucking sex offender. Yeah, that's the whole point.
And again, it's not hard. It's really not hard to not break the law. Like, I haven't even been trying not to break the law, and I've been doing it for like 28 years.
Same. It is surprisingly easy. Not to baby.
I know. Crazy, huh? As it turned out, this depression was just the tip of the iceberg for Damien. After dinner that evening, mail was passed out by the correctional officer on duty, including one for Damien. Within an official-looking envelope from a law office were 2 items: a handwritten letter from Vera Latigue, Vicky's mother, informing him that Vicky had moved back in with them in Michigan and Damien isn't to contact her, plus a set of divorce papers and forms.
So I guess
our boy Damien going through it.
Victor didn't like him after all. Remember the tight hug that left Damien so closely loved that he couldn't even breathe for 3 seconds?
Yeah, and don't forget he's still got their last name, so who wins in the end? He's out there with their name.
Oh, that would suck.
Committing crimes under their name family. Too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Here go the Latrigues again, baby. And the parents are like, damn it.
Our whore daughter did this to us.
Chapter 50, A Reintroduction to Hell. Following Damien's conviction by plea, in August of 2000, he was transferred to North Kern Valley State Prison, technically a reception center and transportation hub, located in the city of Delano, midway between Fresno and Bakersfield. You've been to prison before? Mark asked with uncertainty in his tone.
Yeah, twice. In fact, they almost nailed me with 3 strikes this time, but gave me only 6 years at my Romero hearing.
Following Mark, Damien was housed together with another prisoner who spoke very little English and whose name he couldn't recall for me. This Mexican, or further south immigrant, chose not to interact with Damien as much as possible, perhaps due to their impenetrable language barrier, unlike the US border. Instead, or in favor of not being able to converse, Damien buried himself in both his readings and also his journal writings. After several months in prison trying to make life work again for me, to locate my lost will and desire to live, I was found by my cellmate tying a noose around my neck in order to hang myself. I really wanted to physically end that which I had no spirit to continue. I wanted death. It was there, in that closely watched cell, shivering in that power gown, that I realized I'd lost my wife because I failed to keep my promise to the Lord, my God. I felt myself being beyond the grace of God to ever be forgiven. I'd become too focused on my relationship with Vicky, on the small group we'd started,
on making a living for myself that I'd forgotten to take good care of the relationship which God had with me. I failed, and to this day I pay for it with my loss of Vicky.
Chapter 51. Man in a Bottle.
There was also my cellmate, this one called Bear. He was considered an other race.
What is this, World of Warcraft?
Yeah, he's an Urukai.
He was considered an other race, neither Caucasian, Afro-American, nor Hispanic, which were the three majorities. No, Bear was a Native American, or what Christopher Columbus mistakenly first called an Indian. The nickname fit, for Bear was built like a freight train. He was really massive, without an ounce of unwanted body fat. As a former U.S. Marine, Bear kept himself on a daily regimen of personal discipline, while remaining kind-hearted to others, a Herculean teddy bear.
The cellmate named Bear wasn't the only one who found
No,
Damien
wasn't the one
who found Damien tying that noose around his neck. No, he'd become the cellmate who would remove the lasso around his potential. Bear had a simple philosophy: never fight. He told Damien one afternoon,
compliments will get you fuzzy wuzzies. War gets you prickly wickies. Just live long and shine on in your very own unique way. War is never the answer. Peace is.
I assume that's Damien? Or maybe it was
No, I think it's Bear. I think it's Bear, yeah. Do you want to do it in your Bear voice instead?
Compliments will get you fuzzy wuzzies. War get you prickly wickies. Just live long and shine on in your very unique way. War is never the answer. Peace is.
Protective custody, or PC, is for the most part a rather bad term to those of the general inmate population, because anyone housed on a PC yard, or what was also labeled as a sensitive needs yard, was viewed as a weakling, a snitch, or a child. Nuh-uh. Regardless of what their paperwork said, nobody either doing time or had done a prison term before wanted to associate themselves with a protective custody inmates, or even worse, to be one. To do so makes you abnormal and convicts despite nonconformists. Am I having a stroke? This is like barely English now. So, if you want to know why Bear and I wanted to be nonconformists, to be housed in a soft yard with other inmates who'd rather sleep all afternoon than be part of a 12-man brawl because a man of a different race had touched my shot caller's shower bag hanging on the wall, our answer is simple.
Mean? What's his shot caller's shower? Oh, wait, like your pimp, basically, I guess? Your owner?
Oh, I guess?
Because we don't belong in a bottle. We want to be ourselves, our true personalities, and, most of all, to have our freedom. And if this is so horribly wrong of us, so completely backwards in the thinking of gang members and other career convicts, then we are glad our bottles are broken.
So do you get what this is about, by the way? To be housed in a soft yard. He's talking about how other people are looking down at people like Bear and himself for being placed in, like, you know, the protected areas of the prison where sex offenders.
Everybody knows this. They always have the sex offender like segregated area of the prison, so that the guards don't have to constantly like pull normal inmates away from the child.
So he's making a stand here and saying, like, you know, us choosing to be in this area is not so horribly wrong of us. You know, that kind of attitude.
Yeah, what's so wrong with
we
that?
don't belong in a bottle.
On the first Sunday morning since becoming Bear's cellie, after my attempt, I discovered that he wasn't only a Native American, but an active Christian.
Yes, I am, Damien.
An active Christian. Christian.
I am very happy to say I am a Christian. If you'd like to come, make haste. On Sunday mornings, because yard release is right after breakfast. There is no time to ready ourselves for morning. It starts right at 9. The bear runs with the wind, his cellmate offered.
About your hair there, try some of this.
The larger man about your hair there, try some of this. The larger man reached around Damien and grabbed a plastic jar of Palmer's olive oil hairdress. After unscrewing the lid, Bear angled the jar's opening towards Damien, who viewed the greasy container with abhorrence. Olive oil? He truncated from the label. Maybe if my hair was a salad, I would. Try some. Bear offered with a little more resistance. Trust me, you'll never go back to using those gels or sprays. Damien gave and tried some. To this very day, he still only ever uses this hairdressing.
What is this addict? Like, he's in prison for potentially 25 years, and he's writing about how he was like some, Native American taught him how to do his hair properly.
Yeah, he's like sharing makeup tips. This is crucial lore building, yeah. To this very day, he still only ever uses this hairdressing for whatever few gray hairs which remained on his head. Regularly after Sunday morning service, Bear's desire to hear God's word, God's voice, Bear called the Bible, was unfulfilled and he craved more. Bear invited me that morning and every Sunday afterward to join his group of gathered students of the good news. He introduced me to the like-minded men waiting for us on a small parcel of lawn outside the chapel, running parallel to the asphalt jogging track. We sat down on the grass with our Bibles opened in our laps. It wasn't the most comfortable way to study the Bible, yet the company we kept sure was. I instantly felt like I could share just about anything personal with these complete strangers. These servants of God.
See, he's doing the thing again where he's making prison sound not so bad. Like they're just fucking lounging about on the grass, reading their Bibles together and things like that. And he's like, it's that nice that he's complaining that they didn't have like seats, or I guess like there were no comfortable seating to for them to find so that they could sort of sit around in a like prayer circle or whatever. He's like, it doesn't sound that bad.
Also, he's doing the thing again where he's just developing a crush on anyone who'll pay him attention. Especially gay black men or gay, I guess, non-whites.
Race, non-white men, yeah.
Yeah.
Big ones.
Mystery race, mystery meat. It was at my first study group meeting that I'd also met a young white man named Ryan. No, he was only barely a man, on that borderline of immaturity and age of consent, which will hopefully someday be raised to 21.
Yeah. See what I mean? He's just inserting these little things in here, so he totally doesn't look like a pedophile, guys.
Yeah,
totally not a pedophile.
Oh yeah, totally. It should be 21, not 15. Haha. Damien found himself wanting to give the kids some advice. You should stay in school, learn as much as you can, and try before you praise and despise. Never smoke, never drink. Never worry about how others think of you when you do things. Don't be afraid to approach those of your opposite gender. And most importantly, please stay straight. Great advice. So fatherly.
Hypocrite.
Yeah, really. Anyway, you want to... This is one of the biggest problems with our judicial system. The judges in prisons only look at the crime committed and rarely at the person whom committed that intentional or spontaneous error. The parole board rarely considers the respectable nature and goodness which now resides inside that forgiven sinner's heart. Fuck you. Again, you have to gatekeep. These people really love forgiving themselves. I'm such a good person. I confessed my sins to Jesus and he said I'm good. The person released from prison The person released from prison after 10 or more long years in custody is never the same as the one who was arrested. Yet, unfortunately, inmates are punished for their potential to reoffend, not rewarded for their potential for greatness.
Oh my God, dude.
As he cannot go one like sentence without somebody and getting turned on.
He should just, like, even if he didn't anyone, he should be in jail for life for how fucking smug he is.
Yeah.
Awful human
You can
being.
take this one.
Yeah. Sure, it was presently only a group of a dozen very conservative evangelicals, but these men ate the word of God like it was a chocolate mousse. As I've said, we met on the small lawn after our more official Sunday service inside the chapel, all of us craving ever deeper digestion of the Bible, yet naturally I ate with slightly different table manners, as well as a more cultivated palate than most.
Oh,
Fuck you, you
douche.
giant fucking douche, man.
what a douche. A more cultivated palate than... I need to write that down so I can message you that randomly at some point. Oh my God. What a
I'd
dick.
block you. I don't want to deal with that fucking shit, dude. Likewise, the thought that mankind had spawned from massive amounts of sibling fornication and parental incest is absolutely revolting, even if there wasn't any established laws against it back then. This topic, as you can imagine, didn't go over too well with these conservative evangelicals I was speaking with. They love incest, especially the subject of incest and having with one's sister inside a man's prison. The fact that I was housed in a yard known for having a percentage of child and yeah, you. What do you mean? You're looking down at other child and
Yeah.
fucking hell. The fact that I was housed in a yard known for having a percentage of child and made a few of the study group members concerned about my point of view towards the subject. The following Sunday, I was respectfully asked not to attend the Bible study group, as my thoughts and opinions were a bit too fanatical, or dare I say too liberal, although I'm not entirely sure when in history liberal, when in human history liberal,
Yeah. When in human history.
when in human history liberal became a bad word. I am here and y'all are there, Damien thought to himself as he walked away from the chapel lawn.
Yeah, so, I imagine he was in there saying like, yeah, actually God forgives me, and he does think that I should have with 17-year-old Ryan here. Jesus would have loved pedophiles, and all the rest of them are like, no. Can you not come next Sunday?
Yeah, please, you're making Ryan uncomfortable. Then so he gets moved to a different prison, and it's like a rough and tougher kind of police force there, and they steal all his books or whatever and make him throw them out. They're notebooks. Yeah, dude, just books is part of their fucking name. You're wasting my goddamn time. I'll pick your fucking books. And with that, the officer grabbed at the top two paperbacks of the books pile, the top two magazines of their pile, and only 2 or 4 notebooks within Damien's diminished belongings. The rest were then scooped up and tossed into the rather full trash can. You said I could have 10, Damien rightfully complained. That's only 6. Be glad you're getting any. Now get the fuck out of my face, Chester. The officer's amalgamation of Chester stood for child and molester, which Damien certainly was not.
I didn't hear that one before. I know Chomo. I never heard of Chester.
Neither. He was in prison early 2000s, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it was different vibe back then. Yeah, you take this last paragraph here. It's funny. It's a good one.
Regardless, the reference to Damien being an offender of children caused him to emotionally outburst more than anything else this worthless human being said or did.
To hell with you! I ain't no Chester, and you got no fucking right to call anyone fucking that!
Damien exclaimed loudly enough to be heard through walls.
You're supposed to be an officer, an example of who we are supposed to be and behave. You're friggin' Nazis! I'm not...
Yeah, there it is.
I'm not afraid of any of you!
Damien wasn't able to finish his sentence before being tackled to the dirty tile floor by an officer responding to his yelling from down the hall. Okay. You Nazi!
You Nazi! He's so liberal. You take the next chapter, because this chapter is probably the funniest in this book, I think.
Chapter 53, Regressing Reputations.
I didn't send out any feelers. At least I didn't mean to. But I must have had some invisible gay pride bumper sticker taped on my back. Because even though I hadn't said more than the words "what's up" to a limited few onlookers, I was instantly rumored as being gay.
What a surprise.
Yeah.
How could they have known? Was it my lips around your... The American Mexican moaned something despicably in Spanish, then translated for everyone else close enough to hear. Yeah, I remember. I paid your pimp Danny for a taste of you. Sweet as sugar. Ew.
It's just prison love, man.
The public declaration, especially the name of Danny, instantly brought back long-lost memories for Damien. His months of being prostituted out by a man named Danny, his silly gym, and a disgusting homeless bum named Bob the dog. Bob the dog. These are
Do you
cartoon
remember
characters.
This is from the start of the book, remember? Like his first prison sentence.
Yeah, no, I remember. And there was also like Jiminy the Sloth or something.
Yeah, Slough.
Damien had forgotten all about those Tracy DVI months, as well as the total number of men he was forced to provide sexual services for. Apparently, this man standing before him, with his exceptionally good memory of faces and events from 2 decades ago, remembered what services Damien had long ago provided and hopefully would be providing him again. I was not prepared to start whoring myself out in a dormitory living joint, nor to let someone else force me to. But it was obvious to me that this well-equipped and buffed Mexican guy was going to let my past reputation dictate my future. Wow, really? Damien teased. You remember all of that, yet you don't remember I'm the one that gave you herpes? Then Damien continued playfully. For $50, we could do a cuddle. For $100, we could do pretty much near anything. I don't do though, he shouted randomly. I love dykes. Dykes? China! What?
What the fuck?
I love dykes. Dykes. China. Hoping that the bizarre outburst would make him seem crazy and not worth the trouble. Finally, when that did nothing to solve the situation, he turned serious. I'm not for sale anymore. I'm 46 years old and nothing down there is sweet anymore. Probably give you gonorrhea at this time. He lied again. At least to that moment, Damien had been lucky, quote unquote, at never contracting any long-term diseases from a John or lover.
Wait. Let's unpack this for a second. So I wanted to comment on this initially. So at the start, he says like, I wasn't going to let this Mexican guy dictate let my past reputation dictate my future. Do you remember like he blamed that girl that he for being a slut basically, and her past is what convinced him to her basically?
Mm-hmm.
What a fucking hypocrite. I noticed that immediately. I was like, oh, okay, so Damien's past can't dictate his future, but he was more than happy to pass judgment on that girl that he because she had a slutty past or whatever. She was asking for it.
Well, he found God and she didn't.
True, yeah. Sinless.
Shit, I probably give you herpes. And I've had gono plenty of times before. At least your mouth seems to work fine. I'm not going to be anyone's whore. Damien defiantly stood his ground.
Oh, wait, that was the Mexican guy first.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Who said anything about being a whore? I'm greedy. I don't share my toys. I want you all to myself. Damien's fear turned to a flash of rage. I'm gonna shove your ass down your throat and make you eat your underwear. It was in that instant when Damien realized he would have no choice. Either he would have to accept this man as his monogamous lover, or, thanks to this man's earlier public declaration about Damien's past, someone else, and perhaps worse, would be taking possession of the former prostitute. My fears were growing, not shrinking, as my release date was approaching ever closer. One of my worries back then was I had no notion of who would hire the sex offender. The fear of failing at getting a job that would keep me off the streets once again, or making a living that would be manageable, was driving me crazy. Damien's rather common doubt of being able to find employment as an ex-felon, especially when your criminal history is longer than your list of past employers, is the number one reason why parolees recidivate. They are made of unqualified. Oh, sorry.
They are made to fell unqualified.
Yeah.
Feel
unqualified because of their past behavior and record, until these men feel that their only choice is to return to that very behavior which they are known for and most experienced at.
Chapter 54, Returning to What Works. On July 22nd, 2005, which is before the sting operation, by the way, after several long years of attending Bible studies and mostly keeping to himself, Damien was released on 3 years parole from Avenel State Prison. During Damien's last 2 times being released from prison, Dr. Sam Riley personally drove out to whichever prison and picked Damien up. Likewise amazing, Sam offered Damien a place to stay, a place to work, and
this guy's so ride or die.
no,
Sam is
he
a good
didn't do
friend.
it this time. He didn't do it this time.
Oh.
He's let me finish. He's saying the previous 2 times. Sam offered Damien a place to stay, place to work, and financial support during those tough transitional periods back into society. However, this 3rd time, Damien had none of this. No obvious help from anyone. I like how he sounds indignant about it.
Yeah.
Like, how dare he? How dare he?
Yeah, I told you to keep a room open for me, didn't I?
Yeah. To Damien's surprise that June day, his collect call was both answered and accepted, albeit not from the good doctor himself. Instead, it was Sam's younger sister, Barbara Ann. He didn't know how to ask for help, how to explain his destitution. I'm not all right. My gate money, it's almost gone. I'm in a hotel I can't afford on my own. I have numbers of pairs of dirty crap briefs and not enough quarters for a washing machine. I don't have anything.
Poor him.
I have numbers of pairs of dirty crap briefs.
Yeah, what is it with him and shitting himself, by the way? It's a running theme.
Sorry, it's just been so long since I got through to someone over the phone. I'm a little excited. Is Sam home? Well, of course he's home. Suddenly she interrupted herself as if something suddenly came to mind. That's right. You don't know, do you? She asked in a very somber tone. No? No, what exactly? The only thing I know is that Sam doesn't like to answer his phone. No, Damien. Sam is, well, he had a stroke. It
Is she a
happened a while
smoker?
ago.
What is this voice you're doing?
I'm assuming she's like fucking almost dead herself.
She's straining.
Wasn't Sam like 80 years old by this point, probably? Because he was older than Damien. Damien's like 50 by now.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Sam is, well, he had a stroke. It happened a while ago. Sam lost all feeling of the left side of his body, Damien. His arm, his hand, his leg. He's partially paralyzed, Damien. I had no idea that was all occurring in Sam's life. I felt so completely out the loop and distant. Sure, and I blame this feeling on my Asperger's, of course. I was concerned with the shock that Sam wouldn't be able to help me out. Not that he still owed me any favors. He never owed you any favors. Like, ever, at all. What do you mean still owed you favors? Not that he still owed me any favors. It was completely the other way around. However, as Barbara Ann made it sound, and as I suspected, Barbara Ann had the entire situation under control. She would take excellent care of her big brother. Notice how he doesn't offer to help Sam at all, like even remotely. He's like, yeah, someone else will take care of it. That's good. I don't need help.
Well, he doesn't want a gay guy in a wheelchair.
By the way, and then she decided to come out and help him anyway. So she gave him some money to make sure that he could get on his feet.
Ugh, of course she did.
So of course. Thanks to Sam's sister's generosity and proof of identity, Damien was checked into a hotel which his remaining gate money couldn't lease by its own. The few extra dollars she gave him really did help break Damien's insecurities, a small boost of confidence in his immediate future, if not his attitude towards life beyond bars. Although Damien promised not to waste the money or go on any wild shopping sprees, one particular peer pressure was building up within him on a Saturday. The world changed while I was in prison. Everyone, even preschoolers, seem to have cell phones now. Remember, this is what this is how he communicated with the decoy. Remember, through like cell phones and the library computer and stuff like that.
Very poorly.
So the fact that he mentions the phone, like mobile phones and preschoolers in the same sentence is kind of fucking disturbing. True, cell phones existed in the late 1990s, but those early pieces of technology only made phone calls. But now they did practically anything. Music, movies, games, GPS, movie tickets, sports scores, texting, whatever the heck that is, and access, plausible deniability, Damien. You don't know what texting is, therefore you can't be charged
out
with
of
it.
all of those, he knows GPS, but not texting.
Whatever the heck that
What's
is.
texting, guys? I've never used texting before, guys.
Wait, I don't get it. There's like very Discord channels, like servers where like there's 12-year-olds that you could talk to. What? Whatever that is.
I don't know what texting is, guys. Yeah, whatever the heck that is, and access to everything on the internet. You could even turn your coffee maker on with a phone. It just seemed like you couldn't officially be a member of society without ownership of a phone. So I bought one of those throwaway models with a prepaid amount of minutes, just in case somebody wanted to call me. Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to call you.
That's why you bought a throwaway mobile phone.
Mm-hmm.
a burner. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Chapter 55, only halfway there. Towards the end of the interview, Officer Simmons handed Damien a prearranged state. Officer Simmons, I think, is his parole officer because he's out of prison now. Towards the end of the interview, Officer Simmons handed Damien a prearranged stack of blank forms to fill out, which included applications for food stamps, unemployment insurance, state identification card through the DMV, and Medicaid. The agent suggested applying for food stamps and ID card immediately, and to remain healthy as possible until the government health insurance kicked in. I included all of this because
so
Jesus
we're clothing
Christ.
these people, by the way. Yeah, I was just thinking like, okay, so my taxes now that I live in America, I'm feeding this cocksucker.
Yeah, he gets all of this. He gets all of this just handed to him, basically, like food stamps and stuff like this. This convicted.
Yeah. And his parole officer is like, yeah, you should get free food from the government. File immediately. Have Kaya pay for it. Fuck you.
It's also again like the fact that they then complain about how rough they've got it. Like, fuck
yeah,
you.
really. Yeah, seriously.
Finally, Officer Simmons handed Damien one last item, a sealed envelope addressed to a place he'd never been at nor recognized. And this is for your landlord, George said about the envelope. Wait, my what? Damien asked while shuffling the handful of loose papers and blank forms around. That's for your halfway residence. It's an excerpt of your case file, notice of your parole conditions, and authority to stay there. The halfway residence is a state-funded and rent-free until you get a job, and it is your responsibility to get a job. You don't qualify for any SSI disability, and don't be relying on unemployment checks. That'll be a violation of your parole. Get yourself a job. What about going back to school? I thought I either needed to get a job or be a full-time student. Aren't you 47, 48? Yeah, but I've never felt fully completed in my education. I was working towards my degree while I was living in Ohio. Damien had actually earned his bachelor's degree, yet this was in a field which he no longer felt interested in pursuing. Besides, as you may have noticed, Damien preferred the life of an academic above any other career choice, rewarding or otherwise. Yeah, so you get you get to fund this while he just fucking loiters around and does college degrees.
Yeah, really. This really is loitering. He's just on the college campus like, today I feel like studying, I don't know, music. Then tomorrow it'll be geology. And then, I don't know, I guess we'll see where it takes us.
He got this bachelor's degree, which could reasonably get him a job. Like that's why you should be educating yourself, is so that you can get a job and benefit society and yourself. And so he gets it, and then now he's like, decide, I'm no longer interested in that. I'll just choose a different degree.
He would be like 87 and still be in fucking class with a bunch of 19-year-old girls if like everybody let him. Like, fuck you, get a job, just be a Walmart greeter. Anything. Especially
as a fucking convict. Like, he's talking about, because he's using up like resources and stuff. He's living in these halfway houses for free.
And that's like God, I'm getting angry again, like unironically. But like, whenever people complain about America, like, oh, American colleges are so expensive. Why is it not like Europe where the government just pays for you to get an education? Meanwhile, this guy here, this 3-time guy, shot a dude in the neck, and he's like, yeah, I feel like going to college again for the 17th time at 50 years old. Why is the government not paying for it? Ugh.
He then cleared his throat and offered Damien a handshake. I'll be in touch. Don't fuck this up. Oh, I won't. Damien promised, then left the office. As feared, Damien didn't receive any financial support from his parole officer. Fuck you. Oh my God, this fucking piece of shit. He's whining about not receiving financial support. Like they didn't just give him money. For what? Why would you why the fuck would you receive money in this situation? You're a fucking convicted felon who just got let out after the 3rd fucking time. The narcissistic like privilege that this guy has for some reason is so insufferable.
Yeah.
After about 4 months of living incognito amongst former inmates who hated, yeah, it's only former inmates who hate, not the rest of society as well. Rumor Damien's apparently misgivings about being housed at a particular prison and particular yard of that prison were proven false. While Damien wasn't home, if you can call being at the halfway house as such, an unknown resident ransacked Damien's personal belongings, and this person found a large manila envelope with the address label still affixed. The address to Damien's old cell number and yard letter of Avenel Prison, a widely known SNY facility nicknamed as Telenol Avenel. Damien was confronted with said envelope, accused by 3 men of being, quote, a baby snitch, and promptly beaten half to death. Thank God, finally some justice. His first question to the paramedic treating his multitude of wounds was a pretty obvious one. What happened? You were involved in a fight, the attractive female reported. 3 men held you down until the police arrived.
He gets his ass beat and he still has to slide in like the attractive female.
Yeah.
Oh
if
my
I wasn't
God.
so injured right now, I'd you. That's what he's
in the
that's what
back
he's
of the
thinking.
ambulance. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you take the last chapter.
All right. Chapter 56, The Fight of the Decades. During Damien's first week in county jail, he once again reached out to the only phone number which he had memorized, the home of Dr. Sam Riley.
We're in a time loop. He's back in jail again, by the way, because
Yeah.
the 3 men that beat him up accused him of starting the fight. And that's a violation of his parole thing, a violent crime. So now
actually
he's
funny.
arrested again.
I was surprised to find out through Barbara Ann that my long past friend, Professor John B. Cobb Jr., had called Sam's house the previous week. I'd forgotten that I had listed Professor Cobb as my emergency contact on the move-in forms for the halfway house. John had received the most unexpected call from the halfway residence staff at approximately the same time I'd been handcuffed to a gurney and loaded into the back of the ambulance I cannot even today remember riding in very clearly. John couldn't financially help support me in mounting a privatized legal defense team, but there was absolutely no delay in his charity of providing me some much-needed canteen, jail commissary, items, and other funds to make life behind bars a little more comfortable for me, whether I was truly deserving of such generosity or not. Damien had spent from January 2006 to January 2009, both figuratively and quite literally twiddling his thumbs while his court-appointed and underappreciated public defender continued to request one continuance after another, perhaps hopeful that some previously unnoticed piece of evidence or witness would mystically show itself during these delays. Personally and statistically, criminal trials are lately becoming more battle of wits and charisma than a proof of facts and or justice. To Damien, both sitting there in that courtroom and afterwards, jurors seemed to watch for which attorney put on the best show, or entertainingly presented his/her evidence in the most provocative way, not the importance of the evidence itself. The evidence itself is this guy's a fucking rapist.
He's been convicted 3 times, and then he was caught on camera trying to meet up with a 13-year-old. Like, there's no way that's performative. Like, you don't need any performance from the district attorney to prove that you're a scumbag. Like, it's on camera.
He's pretending to be like getting Saul Goodman here. The enemy attorney, he was so fucking flashy.
He's too charismatic. He lied.
The deputy DA jumped right. Sorry.
The deputy DA jumped right into my being arrested for getting 2 teenage girls drunk, one of them pregnant, while deliberately leaving the detail that I, myself, had been a teenager at the time. Now, all that the jurors saw was now a 50-year-old defendant sitting before them, leaving their imagination to consider me a molester of children, when I was nothing of the sort. I was only a year older than those girls. Only 14 years old in the
Nice.
spring of 1972.
Sorry, excuse me.
And yet, that lawyer made it sound like I'd gotten the girl pregnant just the other day when I was 49. Second, can what he labeled as my intentional shooting, in quotation marks, of a loving father of 2 in his head As you've already read, there was nothing intentional about it. I didn't even aim at that guy, but a drug-induced demon or phantasm climbing over the backyard fence.
Not a
Okay.
danger. Not a danger to society, guys.
Yeah. Oh, this is okay, by the way. I didn't mean to shoot him. I was shooting for the demons I was hallucinating. Oh.
On a drug-filled bender. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. You're good. Thank you for keeping us safe against the phantasms.
Yeah, this is one of those. I always hated when like people like to try to defend their immoral behavior by saying, "Yeah, but I was drunk." Right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah, no
I
shit.
cheated
You got
on my
drunk in the
wife.
first place then.
Yeah. Like, oh, yeah, okay, well, maybe I did cheat on my wife, but I was drunk out of my mind, man. Okay, well, then don't drink. Like, if that's what comes out, the beast, you know?
Yes, the bullet did hit someone after passing through the wood, but I had no idea that it would eventually harm anybody. The district attorney seemed to disagree, only because my aiming at someone sounded better for him. As the prosecutor continued to paint him as a calculated menace, my mind drifted away from the courtroom to protect itself. I remembered at a church youth group meeting years ago, a clumsy attempt I'd made to connect with a troubled teenager who was struggling to talk to girls. I could still feel the awkward silence in the room after I had earnestly offered my own bizarre Asperger's provided brand of guidance to him. I said, if you are a young gentleman, I recommend buying a My Little Pony figure for your favorite color. Of your favorite color, or whatever.
This isn't me adding stuff. This is an actual verbatim quote. Chat.
If you are a young gentleman, I recommend buying a My Little Pony figure of your favorite color, or whatever. Now, stroking the head of said pony is very relaxing and therapeutic. Yes, Christian. Rubbing it against your cheek is very nice. Also, you can pretend that the pony is that girl you wanted to take out sometime and talk to the pony like you talk to the girl. Oh, Fluttershy. I wish I could be in that fucking horse. Your hooves on my. The memory of that teen's blank stare was a painful, pathetic counterpoint to the prosecutor's vision of a criminal mastermind. How could I be a criminal mastermind with advice like that? It was laughable. So he's in court, and they're all like, "You are found guilty of count 1 and 2 of criminal California Penal Code 200 and -3AB subsection paragraph Delta 9A." And he's sitting there like, Twilight sparkle, on my cheek. He's
good.
imagining himself ponies.
All right. He continues.
Next, the quote, recidivism of innocent young girls and my sexual assault of Sandy, who wasn't actually a girl, nor was she all that innocent.
See?
What? Yeah,
He's blaming
he's
her
like,
for being a slut again or whatever.
oh, yeah, he's all pissy about this.
But I did admittedly force myself onto her that day in 1990 when I'd driven her to the airport. True, the drive to LAX should have been as nonstop as our flight would have been, but my lustful rage was fueled both by her beauty and reputation of being an easy lay. I gave in to my desires and knew that what I was doing was wrong at the time I was doing it.
He's defending himself here, by the way, through both of these situations where he's talking about his intentional shooting and this young woman, and
rationalizing.
His defense is basically, for the intentional shooting, I wasn't aiming at the guy, and then for the is, well, I thought she was an easy lay, and I was angry, lustful rage. It's fine.
I wasn't aiming for the guy. It was sort of an act of God, and I would know because I know God now. And also the girl that I mean, she was a whore. Is it really if she's loose?
Yeah, I mean, this is, what kind of defense is this? This is just admitting to both of them. Both
They
of these
call
crimes.
it the latrigue. All right. However, in my personal opinion, while sitting there in that courtroom, even if Sylvia had called the Pope himself to testify at how much of a saint I'd been in the last decade, the prosecutor's damning portrayal of half a century long history of Damien, the sexually violent predator and absolute menace to civilization, had already made up those 12 people's minds for them. As the lawyer continued to spew his vitriol, Damien continued on a crack in the ceiling. Damien focused on a crack in the ceiling, feeling a simple mantra to himself to keep from breaking down. I'm breaking down now, I can barely read. Do not hate. Hate is not good. Of the DA's opinion, regardless if I had actually thrown the first punch or not, the jurors would be crazy to allow me to roam free amongst decent citizens ever again. When the jury at my so-called fair trial came back with their expected verdict of guilty of all charges, my mind revisited earlier considerations of myself. I had 2 months from that reading of their verdict until my sentencing hearing and committal back to state prison. This time forever, at least as a physical, earthly being. No, I'll never believe in a master plan, but in an intended purpose for the life of Damien Latrigue. And I wasn't yet presumptuous enough to cut short that purpose, whatever it may be or lead me towards.
The end. We
So
come
poetic.
to the conclusion.
So
of
poetic.
In for Life. Don't you guys feel way more empathetic to this guy now that we know his story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing was his fault. It's incredible. You know, I sit here as a bigot, close-minded Nazi that I am, as he yells in his book. And I always thought, child bad guy. But now that we've read his book, not just me, but we read his book, I kind of get it now. Wasn't his fault.
It wasn't. He was forced into this life, guys. Does he not
Yeah.
include the sting operation? Yeah, I noticed that. It seems like he well, the timeline of everything that happened, the sting operation seems to happen at the time that he was arrested for the violent altercation. So I'm assuming he just hid that like he made up the violent altercation aspect of the book and changed the sting operation to that basically.
Oh, do you think the fucking halfway house people saw his segments on To Catch a Predator? That's why they beat him up?
Oh, actually, that's absolutely got to be it, right? For sure.
I would imagine so, because I mean, he says that 2006 to 2009, that was the period for where it would have come out, right?
No, I lined everything up. That's absolutely the time. No, he was arrested that time for 2005 or the start of 2006, sorry, and then he was held between 2006 and 2009. So the sting operation had to have been the cause of that, that jail time. So it's both of the. Whether or not he did actually get into a violent altercation or not is unknown, but we do know for sure that the reason he was in jail from that 2006 onwards is because of the Chris Hansen sting operation. Also, another, he never comments on that throughout the book, which I guess makes sense considering he fills it with other mentions about how he's totally not a pedophile, guys. We should raise the age of consent and stuff like that. It's just funny.
Yeah. Trying to divert attention. Need to reach the age of consent, but also if you do have sex with drunk 13-year-olds, look, do we really need to rehash this over a decade later? Come on. I also like how the wife arc ended immediately after she divorced him.
Yeah, even not relevant. Same with Dr. Sam Riley. Like he never visited him or helped him or anything like that. As soon as he wasn't able to offer any help to Damien, he's just cut out of his life completely. Not interested.
And John Cobb.
I do have a little bit of a reveal for you though, Kaya. I sprinkled in throughout the last two chapters, basically, like the last two episodes, a bunch of Chris Chan quotes, which is what you've been reading a lot of these last two episodes. Not all of them, just the ones about shitty diapers, basically. Just those ones.
Those aren't real?
Not all of them, no. There are a few in there that are real.
What? Wait, which one
I thought it was
Chris Chan?
Well, the My Little Pony one was Christian.
Oh.
Which is why I was laughing at you recognizing it. I wanted to see if you I thought you'd recognize the very first one. There were maybe like 10 in there in total. And you didn't recognize any of them. Yeah.
No, I'm not a Christian expert. I don't really know much lore about Christian besides the
So for any intrepid listeners out there who have been scratching their head for why literal Christian quotes were written in this book, that was added in by me. But I didn't change any of his other writing or stuff. It's mostly anything that's not Christian, like directly. I just inserted them in there into what he had already been saying very smoothly.
Well, now I don't know what's real and what's fake.
Anything Christian is not real, but everything else is real.
Well, that doesn't help.
But, okay, anything shit related, probably. Well, 80% of the shit related ones and the My Little Pony one was Christian, but the rest. See, this is the thing though. You couldn't tell he is Christian.
No, I mean they still had My Little Pony shows in early 2005 era.
No, I mean he's so close to Christian that I thought it fit really well.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Well, I guess I got. You got me.
I pranked you over 6 hours. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. If you want more Criminally Stupid, official.men, 7-day free trial, early access to our episodes. If you're listening on YouTube right now, you'll have noticed a lot of beeps. That's because the show's censored on YouTube. You can listen to it on Spotify or watch it on Spotify. We have video on Spotify, and you won't get censored. But yeah, we censor because of YouTube. Official.men, 7-day free trial. If you want early access to the show, uncensored, if you sign up now, you get like 7 full episodes of the show that aren't released publicly.
The whole
there's a lot of content.
saga.
Yeah, like 7 hours worth of content. Well, no, by the time they're listening to this on YouTube, there'll be another 7 episodes up on the Patreon and official.men. Yeah, so if you want a lot of additional episodes, 7-day free trial over at official.men. If you're just getting out of a halfway house right now, or you've got is $5, that's probably the best thing you can do with it. Sign up over at official.men. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time for Criminally Stupid.
Thank you
when we're back
for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.